Well, I've followed the road up here and what I've found, and I'm going to have to pinpoint it on the map, but this is the remains of part of this complex, I imagine. Hiya, my name's David, and as if you didn't know, I am the Wandering Ponderer. Well, I'm back again for part 2. I'm still in search of the Airman's Chapel. I found some outer-lying buildings, but the aerial photos and the plan made where the roads go a little bit confusing, and what didn't help was the fact that I found an empty field, and on the Google satellite image, there isn't an empty field overhead in this area. Okay, here's the plan. Because my copy of the plan didn't actually show the roads that you actually see on here, this is a clearer plan. I put an arrow by the what I thought was the tailor's shop, which is in actual fact a latrine, and where I thought I was, which is where the arrow is now, was the barbers and tailors, and across from there you can see I'll put another arrow. I thought I'd seen the grocery store. Now this is a mix-up because I didn't discover these two immediately one after the other during filming. I went back and I got my wires crossed on the roads, and so I misidentified it according to the plan. But here we're back to what we did in the past video, and the last video is this. Now, for clarification, what I thought, if I've misinterpreted the overhead shot on the map wrong, then the building I saw, which is the other side of this gate here, was not the tailor's shop, but would be the sergeant's latrine, and this lot here would be the shower block. There's an area down that way that I need to look at, and today I was hoping that I would be able to get down this way, get along this fence here, because there seems to be a grass track, there's signs of a walkway, and we should, if my conclusions are correct, be somewhere in the vicinity of the Airman's Chapel. You see, we're following along the outside there, the outside edge along there of the outer perimeter, but we're in the Arboretum area of Marks Hall right now. On the overhead here you can see the World War II aerial photograph, and I've marked in yellow the roadway the other side of that fence, and the blue line here represents the fence that I am walking beside. Now you can see I'm remarkably close. I'll put a little red arrow to where the chapel is, but also we just walked through what is the sergeant's mess, and I'll put that up on a plan so that you can see. I'll outline the sergeant's mess as it looks on the overhead plan. But I'm looking along here for any evidence of a concrete base or something of that nature, because looking at the overhead views, see there's areas here we'll have a look. Don't really want to go in amongst all that to find what could be remains. I don't know. I really don't know what is, but I'm hoping, I'm hopeful, because we've got all this, the other side of this fence. This goes out and up. I'm just gonna look, and then I'm gonna come back and explore outside this fence just a little bit more, just to try and clarify in my head exactly where I went. I don't see any the footpath goes on and on here. What I'm going to do is pause here, and I'll catch up with you a little bit later. Okay, there's the overhead satellite image, and I'll colour in the route that we took in yellow. The light blue line leads up to the field compound. The dotted dark blue line is the line of the fence, the deer fence that we walked along. I'll now overlay the World War II aerial photograph so that you can see. We faded in gradually, and you begin to get a picture of what it was like. Now, what I thought was the grocer's shop wasn't the grocer's shop, and the tailor's shop wasn't the tailor's. There's the chapel, and there that I thought was the grocer's shop happens to be a standby set house for power generators. But here, this is the Airman's Chapel. This whole area here was devoted to the gymnasium / chapel. How far over it came, I don't know. Can't get in there to see if there's any concrete remains, but I would imagine, having stood on here and actually seen evidence of concrete and rubble and stone, that there once was a hard standing here. Most of the hard standings have been dug up because the state has its business to perform, so various modifications are made. But around here, and perhaps, well, not near that tree, because that tree's, but around somewhere in this thicket there's some more buildings. I'll put the plan up, and I'll put the aerial photograph up so that you can see. But this area has been cleared, and the other area across there is another part of the communal area, and I will put a sign up where the building was. This, unfortunately, is all we can find on the chapel. But I'm sure this area here was used in the same way. Standing underneath this oak tree, this beautiful oak tree, and just over there between the trees there, I'll zoom in so you can see, is a building. So looking at the aerial photograph and the sat-nav image, I can see that I wasn't quite in the right place with labelling everything, and I did make a spelling mistake. I'll let you sort that out. That was good exercise. So what have I learnt from this? Number one, don't get so caught up in filming and looking at your plan and actually forgetting where you are. Otherwise, when it comes to editing the video, you'll get confused and put arrows on the plan in the wrong places. The Airman's Chapel, we were in the area where that was, and for this venture that's as close as we'll ever get to seeing it. But just being in the area is it feels quite peaceful, which is nice. I think that's all we're going to find on communal site number 2 on the second plan. The plans themselves are not 100% accurate in reality. When you look at the overhead aerial images from World War II, you see that the buildings are not quite laid out where they are on the plan, and the plan is just a plan. This is where we're going to put something. There's always something that would arise that would make, you know, the actual location change. Plus the site itself had additions as the war progressed, so hence the big difference between plan number 1, which we showed in a previous video, and the second plan, which gives more detail. So that's all there is from Mark Saul at this juncture, and if anything else crops up, obviously I'll be back to do another video. But thank you for watching, and please click subscribe if you haven't, but at least give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and I will see you in a future video.